All right, I got some chicken breast tenderloins here. Get these cut up. Cut up into nice little sized chunks. All right. Always use a nice sharp knife. That way you don't have to do as much slicing when you go to cut. One slice and I'm right through all of that, as you can see. Oh, 2 slices. Three. But what you want to do is get these into nice little chunks. Make that one a little smaller. All right. Make this a little smaller. All right, that should be good. Now you got your chicken breast cut up into chunks. Let's move on. All right, now that you have your chicken chunks cut up, what I'm gonna do is just put them right into this bowl. All right, get those right in there. What we wanna do, get those right in there. And then we'll put this to the side to wash it. All right, first thing you want to start off with is a little bit of salt, okay? I'll put just a little in my hand, not gonna need much. Just a little bit of salt, because I'm gonna have other things that are gonna add. All right, that should be good. That was pretty much about a teaspoon. That was about a teaspoon of salt that I put in, okay? I'm gonna use a little bit of black pepper, okay? Couple of shakes, maybe a quarter of a teaspoon worth, all right? A little bit of cayenne pepper. I like to add a little bit of spice. This is barely coming out, so don't think that it's a whole lot. This is barely coming out. All right, there we go, that's good. Okay, now we want to add a little bit of lemon pepper. Just enough to coat that, okay? I like onions, I like garlic, so you know I gotta add my minced garlic just to have, you know, that flavor. Right now I'm adding minced onion just to add bigger pieces of onion, some onion powder. Trust me, it comes out really good. All the flavors blend together. Garlic powder. All the flavors blend in pretty good. Okay. Now you want to add something to make it a little wet. I have this organic lemon juice. All right. Get that in there. Get some of that lemon juice. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you should have put that first. No, I don't like to. I don't like to put it in first. All right. That's just my choice. And I have a little bit of Sazon Tropical, okay? Just a little bit. I'll add a little bit of that, just enough, okay? Done with that. And then also, I have a different version of the Sazon Tropical. This is more of the green version, okay? Ideal for, you know, meats and poultry. So just add a little bit of that. Trust me, it's not gonna be too much. Not gonna be too much. And then we're gonna just mix that around. Mix that around, you know. It could be done by hand, but I don't want the chicken all over my hands. So that's the reason why I'm using a fork to mix it up. Get that going. Okay, let all those flavors marinate in there. And then we're gonna cover this up, okay? We're gonna cover this and then let this sit in the fridge for about 15 minutes just to let all of those flavors blend in together. So you can use saran wrap, plastic wrap, whatever you have. You can use foil. I'm gonna use foil because that's the first thing that I grabbed. And then we're gonna get this into the fridge, let it sit, let all those flavors marinate, and we'll be back. All right, here we are with a bowl of broccoli that I just freshly steamed. Now what I'm going to do, season it up a little bit. I already added a little bit of salt to it, a little bit of flavoring. I add a little bit of powdered chicken stock. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder. I'm gonna add a little bit of onion powder. I love onion powder and garlic powder. Love it. I'm gonna add some minced onion. All right. And that is it. I'm just gonna mix that around a little bit. Get everything flavored. Like I said before this, I had already seasoned this with the salt and the powdered chicken stock. So I should have, done that on camera. Just to let you guys see it, but what's done is done. All right, so let me give that a little taste. Okay, perfect, nicely seasoned. All right, everybody, all right. I got my chicken out of the fridge, and it is nice and seasoned, nice and marinated, and it is ready for me to begin cooking. Now I got my olive oil that I'm using in here, extra virgin olive oil. It's nice and hot enough, as you can see. And what I'm gonna do is just get all that chicken in there. All right, get it all in there. Put it more around the sides as opposed to the middle. I have my heat on medium high. Okay, this chicken breast doesn't have to cook for very long, so it will not be cooking for that long, okay? So let's get that going. Get everything mixed around. Let's let it sit for a second. All right. Set up a little bit higher. There we go. Medium high. Okay. Now we're gonna just let that cook up for a couple minutes, and there we go. One thing that I am going to add while it is in there, ground turmeric. Also comes in the form of curry powder. A little bit of that. Yep. And now I'm going to mix it around, and that should be good. Get that all mixed up. Yeah, get that all mixed up. Get everything coated with that olive oil. Yeah. Get it all coated. Yes. I can see that minced garlic in there, everything. All right. Let that cook up. Now while it's cooking, we will stand by. All right, that chicken is still cooking up. Now what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go through pretty much each chunk and kind of split them, kind of almost shred them a little bit, but not too much. As you see, I'm going down, I'm pressing on them, splitting them open. And that's gonna be done, so when we use this later, it'll be much smaller pieces. Now I do this while it's in the pan. First off, while it's cooking, it'll absorb more of those flavors because the juices have already begun to flow. And now that chicken is going to be marinating in those juices while it's actually in the pan. So I'm splitting these pieces up bit by bit, and that's going to come in handy when it's time to use it later. Yeah, so now I'm gonna work everything back towards the middle. I started out along the edges of the pan, but then I want to work it up back to the middle. Almost pile it on like a little chicken mountain, you know. I got that cooking, and then once I have it like that, then I'm pushing down. Okay, I'm splitting it. So now I have even smaller pieces of chicken, you know. So when I make these empanadas, which I'm gonna make later, it's gonna be easier for me to fill them as opposed to having these huge chunks. Now, like I said, I could have cut these up smaller in the beginning, but for whatever reason, I just don't like to. I like to cut them up in chunks, and then once they're in chunks, once they're starting to cook, then that's when I like to cut them up even smaller, you know. So I'm gonna let these cook out for another 1.5 to 2 minutes, and then we'll be back. I'm gonna put them to the side and let them sit and cool off, and we'll be back. Alrighty, the chicken is done. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and set this off to the side, let it cool, and yeah, we're gonna put it in there. All right, gonna let it sit, let it rest in this bowl. Okay, heat resistant, so it's good to go. No BPAs, plastic. All right. Good. Set this off to the side to clean it. Good to go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Chicken breast is nice. Nice and cut up. All right, everybody, we are back. We have our chicken cooked, we have our broccoli steamed and seasoned, and now we have our empanada dough shells, okay? Now, you can buy these in a pack. They come 10 in a pack. They sell them in the freezer section in your local grocery store. They are separated by, you know, plastic sheets, so that way they won't stick. First thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take one, I'm gonna do this all by hand, lay one down. Okay, I'll take a spoon of the broccoli, maybe a little bit more broccoli. You know what? Let's add a little bit more. There we go. Nice little amount of broccoli. Okay. Now we got the chicken. I'm only using the spoon so that way I can make, or try to make, you know, equal portions for each one. So I'm gonna take a spoonful, big spoon full of the chicken. I'm only gonna make 10 with this chicken and the broccoli, so I could probably add a little bit more of the ingredients to each one. So now I'm gonna add a little bit more chicken. All right, and then on top of that, what I have is a triple cheddar blend. It's a sharp cheddar, medium white cheddar, and then medium cheddar. Okay, this is the brand found in your local grocery department. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of that. This is the first time I'm trying this triple blend. So I'm gonna just sprinkle, you know, a little bit of this triple blend on there. And then I'm gonna cap it off with some Kraft finely shredded sharp cheddar. I prefer sharp cheddar over any type of cheese. Any type of cheese, I prefer sharp cheddar. Okay, now this first one I'm making, I'm gonna put a decent amount so that way it looks really good. But the next few that I'm gonna actually make, I'm going to, you know, use the ingredients a little bit more sparingly so that way every single one can get something. So now what I'm doing right now, I'm just gonna take it, I'm gonna fold it over, get everything in there, and I start from one end. I'm gonna roll, flip, push, boom. That's all I'm doing. That is all I'm doing. All I'm doing. Now this is the way that I do it. Some people use a fork to press. Guess what? Whatever way you make them, hey, That's your style. That's your business, you know. I'm not here to judge. Don't want anybody judging me, you know. And that's it. I'm gonna roll and press as I get all the way around. And then once I do that, I'm gonna come back again to make sure everything's sealed. Okay, I got my roll and press. Now I'm gonna smash it out a little bit more. All right, just to make sure everything is all together. All right, here we go. Now this little piece right here, when that fries up, you can actually use that to grip it, okay? So it'll give you kind of like a little handle. All right, and there we are right there. There we are. Now we're gonna go over to the stove and pop this right into the fryer. We're gonna pop it right into the fryer and go from there. Also, what I like to do, since I have an air fryer, I will take either some unsalted cream butter, and I would melt it and then brush it along here and then throw it in the air fryer to give it a nice flaky crust. What I'm doing here, I'm frying this in some heart healthy, cholesterol free vegetable oil. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be frying it in, and that's pretty much it. That will be the end of our cooking lesson today. In a minute, I'm gonna take you over to the fryer. All right, we are back. That pot is nice and hot. And you know that we already rolled our empanada, so in it goes. Got me a nice pair of tongs so my hands don't get burnt. And boom, there we go. Now watch that fry up. It's only gonna be in there for a few minutes, okay? It doesn't take long for this to get a nice golden brown, you know, coloring on it. I'm gonna let you watch this the whole way through. I'm gonna flip it over once, and then after I flip it over, we're gonna let it go for a few more seconds of frying, and then boom, we're gonna pop it right into its tray where it's gonna sit, cool off, and then we will devour. All right, so as you can see, it's already starting to get a browning in these areas. You know, the oil is hot enough to give it that browning. And what it actually does at this temperature, it gives it that flakiness. It bubbles up that crust, give you a nice crunch, okay? So I'm gonna let that go for probably another 10 to 15 seconds before I flip it over. And that should be good. I'm gonna take this, and that's it. Flip it just like that. Now it might not stay, which I see it's trying to flip itself back over, but I'm in charge. So yeah, you're gonna stay down. There you go. Now as you can see, it has a nice golden brown on it already. So that side already got a chance to bathe in this hot oil. So I'm gonna let the other side get a chance to bathe in it. And I'll let that stay in there for another 30 seconds or so. And then boom, we're gonna pop it right out and let it sit, cool off. Once it cools for a little bit, maybe 2 minutes or so, listen, you can dig right in. You can dig right in. Alrighty, that should be good to go. Let's look and see. Oh yeah, that's a nice browning on it. So you can't see it because it's off of camera, but I'll bring it in. I have a pan here with paper towels on it to let it sit, to let all of that drain and cool off, and then we'll eat it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and continue rolling and pressing and throwing more empanadas into this oil. Thank you for watching. All right, here we have a nice golden fried empanada. And let's see. Ooh, look at that nice, crispy, crunchy crust. Ooh wee. Now usually I would just be biting into this, But I'm using the fork to kind of like open it up just to show you guys. Uh-oh, let me get this. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's still hot. Nice and warm. Look at that cheese, ooey gooey. Oh man. The broccoli, the chicken. Oh man, it's gonna be delicious. Excuse me. That's delicious. That is delicious. Let's see how this tastes, all right? Oh man, that's delicious. That is delicious. Oh man. Oh man. I outdone myself this time. That's delicious. Thank you for watching. Enjoy. Signing out. Big Chef Bruce.